Florida Governor and presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. Governor, thank you very much for taking the time off the campaign trail. After Israel had suffered their 9/11, what are your takeaways as it pertains to the West's ability to defend our people and our way of life?
Well, we have a president that's missing in action. They've already called a lid on his activities today. We know 9 Americans have been killed by Hamas terrorists. They won't even tell us how many are missing. We don't know if any are being held hostage. Joe Biden should be manning the post. Instead, he's asleep at the switch. We have a State Department that's put out, both under Blinken's Twitter and one of the agencies in Israel, statements talking about not responding, having a ceasefire. So this is just a total disaster in terms of their response. And yes, I agree with your comments. I mean, if you're looking at Israel and all they've done to protect themselves and their borders, and this can happen, do you not think that people that mean our country ill have not been looking at the open border we have and have been exploiting that? We know Chinese have come across, Russians, Iranians, other people from the Middle East. So this is a massive, massive security issue. Joe Biden, if he wanted to be a leader, he should step up, acknowledge that he's got to reverse his border policy, shut the border down. He needs to stop playing footsie with Iran. There should be no sanctions relief, no money going to Iran. There should be no foreign aid going to Gaza or any Palestinian Arabs. And he needs to act now because we are vulnerable. And I think this shows that with what happened in Israel.
Now, let me expand on the conversation that you were just having. Hordes of military-age men storming one of the most secure borders in the world and unleashing terror on civilians. Now, contrast that with the world's most porous border, the United States border, coupled with the fact that Joe Biden just brought in millions of military-age illegal aliens, millions of them. We don't even know who they are and why they're here. What is your message to those saying that what we witnessed in Israel could never happen in the United States?
Oh, man, if you want to talk about military-age males, that is the predominant stuff we see down at the southern border from countries all over the world. This is a huge, huge vulnerability. I think for sure we're going to eventually have a terrorist attack in this country that we'll trace back to somebody coming across the southern border. I don't think there's any way you can have that many number of people capitalizing on such a vulnerability and not see that. So this is an intentional policy of the Biden administration to weaken this country, to expose our citizens to potential threats and attacks. And look, we know that there have been over 100,000 dead from drug overdose, a lot of that from the fentanyl coming across the border. We know people are being sex trafficked and human trafficked. We know criminal aliens come across the border and commit traditional crimes against our people as well. So you have all of that, plus the threat of foreign infiltration. It's a total disaster, and something needs to be done about it. I've already said on day one, we're declaring it a national emergency. We're going to send military to the border. We won't entertain any of these asylum claims at the border. They can remain in Mexico. People that come illegally are going to get sent back to their home country. Yes, we will build the border wall, but more importantly, we're going to use lethal force against the Mexican drug cartels because they're facilitating almost everything bad that's happening down there.
Governor, Israel is now, as you heard in the preamble, allowing its citizens to arm, faced with attack from hordes of jihadists. Isn't there a lesson here for Americans?
Oh, look, I mean, I think, I have a great regard for Israel. They're a strong ally. We've got great relations. But you need to be able to defend yourself. And our Second Amendment is something that's very important. It is a bulwark against those types of attacks happening in the United States. Certainly, if anyone tried to invade our country at some point in the future, they'd run into a lot of buzzsaws, particularly in my part of the world, down in the Southeast. So, yes, law-abiding citizens being able to defend themselves, especially if a country has security vulnerabilities, especially when you have potential terrorist infiltration like Israel has, I think that's a no-brainer. You don't ever want to be a sitting duck. You want to be able to defend yourself and your family.
Governor, as you know, President Trump officially recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, moving our embassy there, a move that previous GOP presidents gave a lot of lip service to, but they never actually did it. If you become president, how would a DeSantis administration undo the damage done by the Joe Biden regime and then deepen U.S. bonds with Israel?
Well, day one, there'll be a new day with the U.S.-Israel relationship. It will be ironclad, like it should be. And I was a big supporter of moving the embassy when I was in Congress, and that was a historic event. I think the left wants to move it back to Tel Aviv. We will never let that happen. That will be the embassy from here to eternity if I have anything to do about it. We are going to stand with Israel and support their efforts to defend themselves to the hilt. What happens in the past is U.S. would say, yeah, you could defend yourself, and then maybe behind the scenes work with the UN, work with the Europeans to try to put pressure on Israel to stop. We will not pressure them to do a so-called two-state solution with Palestinian Arabs. There is no two-state solution. Those Palestinian Arabs in places like the Gaza Strip, they don't want their own state as much as they just want to eradicate the Jewish state. They don't want to recognize Israel's right to exist. So the whole notion that you could do a two-state solution, that you could somehow give away land and end up with a lasting peace, that is refuted by the fact that those Palestinian Arabs reject Israel's existence outright. They think it's their duty to drive the Jews into the sea. So we got to stop trying to delude ourselves and thinking there's going to be some type of two-state solution when you have that kind of thinking that pervades not just groups like Hamas, but the broader Palestinian Arab society.
GOP presidential candidate, governor of the great state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, sir, appreciate you carving out time for the Salcedo Show today, sir. Thank you.